Hey guys, welcome to another archive episode of the K and M show. We're going back to July 3rd, 2023, day before 4th of July. It was a Monday. Season 1, episode 56. Erick McCormack from Will and Grace, who's doing some show about British people getting drunk and having sex, directed by George Costanza. Shan Doherty, not from Beverly Hills 90210, is a girl on social media that's going to demonstrate some fun family ideas for a July celebration. So this means safe stuff for the kids. So it's probably going to be like painting styrofoam cups red, white, and blue, or making like frozen red, white, and blue ice cubes. Everything that has nothing to do with fire or explosions. So that'll be an interesting, dull, and boring segment to watch. I will personally not be here for that, but hey, knock your socks off. I know you guys come for that. You love the content. What if you have grandkids and you're looking for a way to save them from blowing off their fingers? Like that Jean Pierre Thomas guy from the Giants. Hey, I got an idea what you can do that's fun. Why don't you why don't you take some blueberries, some strawberries and some whipped cream and put it on like a piece of cake and do that. Make some Easter eggs that are red, white, and blue. Wear red, white, and blue shoes. You know what you could do is you could take some popsicle sticks and fucking glue them together and spray paint them red, white, and blue. Make a bunch of red, white, and blue stuff. Take your sparklers and break them, and then you could like use them as sticks, skewers for your, steak kebabs. Stick a cherry bomb up your great aunt's, stick a cherry bomb up your spouse's butt while they're sleeping. If someone passes out before the sun goes down, light off some thunder bombs up their nose. All right, that's enough. So now Ryan is not the guest host. We have Mark back. So this is great. We get to watch another episode of the Kelly and Mark husband and wife podcast. I mean, seriously, what they're doing is they're hijacking the hairways. What they're doing should be on YouTube. They should have a YouTube channel doing all this stuff. Because this is not the live show. This is the Kelly and Mark personal reminiscence podcast. And I think they'd be successful. They'd have a whole bunch of viewers that'll follow them of live, that'll follow them to YouTube. They all have their own fans. They have their soap opera fans. They have kids and parents, kids that are parents that would probably love to listen to this. Make it an hour, 90 minutes, hell, maybe even 2 hours so you can get away with like 17 ads, all like from, products that are like founded by like your fellow actor friends promoting their junky tequilas and freaking wine companies. And make episode 1 Michael loses his first tooth, and you guys can talk about that for like 15 minutes, and then you'll veer off and you start talking about when you were kids and you lost your tooth, and what's his name, Mark will be like, oh, I remember when I lost my first tooth. He'll say, Kelly, how did you lose your first tooth? Did it fall out? Did they tie something around and slam a door? How did you do that? And she'll be like, it was interesting, this and this, and then they'll start talking about themselves for like an hour. They won't even be talking about Michael. They'll talk about the other kids' loose teeth, and then Mark will always start talking about put stuff in the comment section like we're gonna read it, and they're not gonna read it and get back. They won't. They'll ask one of their kids, or they'll get some of their family members or one of their friends' kids to come and like go through them for like a half an hour and pick out like 5 comments, and then episode 2 could be like our honeymoon, day 1, and we'll talk about that. And then look, I'm sure they'll make plenty of money, but leave the live show to giving us live show content. All right, if save all the other stuff for your personal podcast. And Mark's the one that's so full of ideas. You should write a book. Oh, you should start a podcast. You should do this. Well, why don't you? Notice how Mark's not eager to give himself any suggestions. It's always about his wife. You should do stuff on the side. Mark's like, I don't want to do stuff on the side because I'm here on ABC. I know this is what I need this. But Kelly, you should get off of TV and you should do more stuff off of TV. But me, I'm going to stay right here. It's going to be the Mark and Mark show in like the next 3 years. So comment in the comment section if you think I'm right or wrong. I don't really care. I don't read the comment sections, but I'm going to tell you I will. I'm going to read those comments and get back to you. So this is episode 56 from season 1. I actually was a minute late. So we missed the whole intro with Deja. So I have no idea if there's a musical guest or anything. So we just got into their first conversation, which I'm sure is extremely not exhilarating. So let's go start the middle of the show. Make sure to like and dislike, smash that like button, get some notifications, comment and share with your friends. Ding the bells, dong my ding dong. And remember, I love you. I'm Phil. Phil in the blanc. What are we doing? What are we doing? What? Okay. I don't care. No, that's how they get you, aliens.
Right. So within the first how many minutes do you know I'm going to have a second date with this person?
Oh, within the first 5 minutes. Do I get lubricated downstairs?
All women can say this with complete assurity. We get the ick factor immediately. It's like, ick, and quickly you are at least...
It's not the ick factor. It's the ooh la la factor. We're talking about lubrication down the valley.
And say this with complete assurity. We get the ick factor immediately.
Is there water in the valley?
Ick, and quickly you are at least... Okay, so back in the day, young girl.
They know right away if they're going to let someone jump off the island and connect their isthmus to their valley.
And say this with complete assurity. We get the ick factor immediately.
They already know if they're going to let a random explorer climb their twin peaks. Do they want to have sex with them? It's easy.
Oh, it's
10
like,
minutes.
I think all women
That's why the advice to men is when you want to get laid by a girl on the first date, your best bet is to just shut the hell up and say less. Do less. Nod your head. Smile. Try to look good. Smell good. Let her do all the talking and just tell her she's right and compliment her as much as you can. Don't say anything. Don't do anything. Do the least amount as possible. Say the least amount possible. And chances are you'll get in there. Now, the second date's tricky because you might actually have to start talking. You might actually be able to repeat for the first few dates, depending on how good you were in the sack the first time. But once you get past once the exciting sex is done and you got to switch things up, you have to talk, you might lose her. But first date, take her out to dinner, buy her dinner, compliment her, tell her she's right about everything she's saying, and don't talk. As much as you can, don't say anything. And then when she's done and the bill is paid, say, want to go back to my place for a drink? And she'll either say yes or no. And if she says she'll know, she knows right before the calamari's coming, she knows that she's going back. Just say, you want to go back to my place? If she says no, trust me, it was always a no. There's no way she was saying, I'll sleep with this guy. But then when you say you want to go back to my place, she goes, oh my gosh, what do you think I am, a slut? You just ask me like that? I was going to sleep with you maybe after like the third date, but since you asked now, the answer is no. It's always a yes or no. All right? By the time the waiter introduces himself and explains the specials, she already knows. She's 80% sure. The only way it goes down from 80 to 0 is if you open up your fucking mouth and talk, right? She already knows. She's 80% sure. To get from 80 to 100, it's 20%. All you got to do is just shut up and not blow it. And she's naturally elevating. She's naturally rising like temperature in a sauna, like body temperature in a sauna. The only way you blow it and go from 80 to 0 is if you open up your mouth and go, if you're in the sauna and you're blowing on the rocks, easy. You're in a sauna. Just do nothing and let the natural temperature rise and you'll get laid. The only way you're not going to get laid is if you cool the temperature in the sauna. And how do you do that? By putting like ice cubes on the rocks. Don't put ice cubes on the rocks. It's very easy not to do. You know how you don't do that? You know how you avoid doing that? Don't bring ice cubes into the sauna in the first place. It's a very easy step. Don't talk. She'll make all the decisions. If you make it at the end, you didn't have to work for it. She knew. If you don't make it into the bedroom at the end, it was nothing you did during the dinner. She automatically made that decision based on how you look and smell. That's it. That's the first date rules. Plain and simple.
Say this with complete assurity. We get the ick factor immediately. It's like, ick, and quickly you are at least... Okay, so back in the day, young girls who are here, and guys, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. We used to have a system because there were no cell phones.
She used to have a system. Let me guess. She's going to talk about how she would have a girlfriend or maybe a brother. Let's see if she's going to include men because she doesn't want to say girlfriend. She'll say girlfriend or boyfriend or a brother or someone. She's going to have a friend, but she'll say girlfriend verbatim. Call the restaurant you're at and ask to speak with you. and then you would go to the host stand and talk, and the host would come and say, you have a phone call, it's an emergency. And then she's going to go to the front, and it'll be a friend, and the friend will say, hey, is everything going okay? And then, and she'll say, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then what happens is, if the girl doesn't like you, she'll come back from talking at the hostess stand and say, I have to go, there was an emergency, my friend's in the hospital, or my friend's doing this, or something, right? That'll be the first thing. Or she'll say, I have to go to the payphone and make a phone call to check on my grandma or something. And then when she goes to the payphone, she will then come back and say, oh, I called my grandma. Oh, turns out she's not feeling well, right? Or she's going to go to the payphone and call a friend and say, oh, come and get me. And then a friend will show up at the restaurant. She'll call the payphone and call her friend Sally and say, Sally, this date's not going good. You have to bail me out. And then Sally will come and she'll tell you, oh, I told my friends that I was going out to dinner with this guy at this restaurant. My friend recommended it or something like that. And then Sally will come up and she'll tell him, oh, Sally knew I was here, and that Sally just showed up and says, Kelly, there's an emergency. We need to leave. I'm sorry. Nice to meet you. I know you were here. That's least likely that someone's actually going to show up to the restaurant and tell her she has to leave. But I bet, put it in the comment section what lie she's going to tell. But I bet you it's going to be that she's going to have her friend call the restaurant and have the maitre d' come and go to Kelly Ripa and say, Kelly, you have a phone call at the front desk. And then she'll come back. If she comes back and says, oh, that was my friend telling me that, she wanted to see how the date was going, or she was telling me that, like, my grandma got her medicine or something like that, maybe, I don't know, something. And if she stays, then she's going to sleep with you. If she doesn't want to sleep with you, she's going to say, oh, that was my friend. Her sister was in a car accident, or her sister is like having a bad time, or her mom like fell down the stairs and stubbed her toe, or the dog got out. Her dog got out. We got to go look for him. Some kind of fake emergency. The question is she going to the payphone with a quarter, or is one of her friends calling the restaurant and the maitre d' or the waiter or the host is going to come to the table and tell her she's got to call? Put in the comment section. We'll wait about 15 minutes so everyone gets their comments in, and then we'll resume the show and find out the answer. All right, you guys, everyone got their final answers in? Let's hear wisdom from the queen herself. She's going to tell us something. Her system. Let's hear Kelly Ripa's system. Stuff we already know. Go ahead. Enlighten us, oh wise one. Oh my God, this fucking TV. I'm going to smash this TV with my skull. No, stop it. Pause. Play.
Secret. We used to have a system.
It's not a secret.
Because there were no cell phones. We had a system where your friend would call the restaurant 5 minutes after you got there. 5 minutes after you got there.
Let me ask you this. How did your friends know you got there if there was no social media? They couldn't follow you. You couldn't check in. They couldn't follow you on Foursquare. You weren't posting on your social media. So you're telling me that if you got there at 7:07, they knew you got there at 7:07, and they got there at 7:12. They called at 7:12. So if your reservation was at 7:30 and you were 10 minutes late, they knew you were 10 minutes late. How did they know you were 10 minutes late? Did you stop off at a payphone and say, hey, just to let you know, I'm going to be 10 minutes late? But what if you were 11 minutes late? Did they know? Did they know that you got there at 7:41 and they knew to call at 7:46? Because that doesn't make sense. What makes sense is that if your reservation was at 7, they'd call at 7:05. But if you were late, you missed the call. Exactly 5 minutes. They don't know what time you got there. They could read your mind. Here's the secret. Here's the real secret. Women could read each other's minds back in the 80s and 90s. We all could communicate, and we still do it. ESPN. We have ESP, where we communicate through our brain. Yeah, it's exactly 5 minutes. You know what I mean? We had a friend call the restaurant, and she's speaking on behalf of all women, just to let all you guys and all you girls know, all you young people, us girls, 100% of the female population back in the 80s and 90s, we all had a secret. We had a plan, right? It's like there's no way that it was just me. It was an East Coast thing. It was a Philly thing. It was a Jersey thing. It was an Italian thing. It was a scummy bitch thing. No, all women did what I did, because if not all women did it and only I did it, that would single me out as being kind of a bitch. And so therefore all women were bitches back then, right? This is what happens when you grow up on a soap opera set. Let me tell you a secret. All of us women, 100% of all the girls used to do this, right? No, only you dumbass tricks. All you scummy, scammy, freaking trampy Italian East Coasters.
Where your friend would call the restaurant 5 minutes after you got there. 5 minutes after you got there. And you would
your whole
either
statement.
fake an emergency. Oh no, that's terrible.
So when a waiter comes to your table and says
there's a phone call for you.
Yes.
And you would answer, you would go to the phone, and you would there would be an emergency.
Right. And that's how it worked at every restaurant, right? Your girlfriend would call and say, hi, I'm looking to speak with my friend Kelly Ripa. Of course, my ESPS tell me she's at table 15, right? Or what are we saying? That I guess that you guys were on reservations, right? So the person at the restaurant's going to look on Kelly Ripa. Yes, there's a reservation under Kelly Ripa. We sat her at table 15. So you basically went every time you went on a date with a guy, 100% of the time it was at a restaurant where you made a reservation. I mean, did you go to Chili's and make a reservation with Kelly? So that way your friend knew to call. I'm looking for Kelly Ripa, my friend. She said she'd be there. You must have her under the reservation book. No. What if you go to a restaurant and you go and you sit down? Did you go to the waiter and say, will you make it a point to write down? I mean, there's just no way that 100% of the time someone's going to call and the host is going to be like, yeah, we know exactly where she's sitting. Most of the time they're going to be like, hell, even if you got a reservation for Kelly, I've worked at restaurants. Not all the time. You might have a reservation for Kelly Ripa, but I'll tell you what. Even if someone says I want to talk to Kelly Ripa, they could look at the reservation book and be like, oh, yeah, she had a 7 o'clock reservation. It's 7:05. Right. But they don't put down in the reservation book what table they're sitting at. Maybe they do, but not always. And most of the time, the guy's going to make the reservation. So now you have to have your friend call and say, hi, I'm looking to speak with Kelly Ripa. She's with a guy named Mark Consuelos. You must have him under the reservation book. That's not how good. It's not that smooth. They don't just say, can I speak to Kelly Ripa? Kelly Ripa, oh, yes, she's at table 37. Hold on. Hey, waiter. That must be Luke's table. Hey, Luke, go to table 37. The young lady, that's Kelly Ripa. Go give her this message. They'll be like, Kelly Ripa, who's that? Can you describe her? That's more realistic. Can you describe her? What does she look like? Oh, she's a small girl. Fine. That might work, and that might work. She's a short girl. She's wearing a yellow dress, because I'm pretty sure she's telling her friend that's going to call, I'm wearing a yellow dress. She's wearing a yellow dress. She has blonde hair. She's with a guy. She told me her reservation was at 7, so she must have just been sad. I'm pretty sure they'll find her. But to make it sound so easy that like, oh, the waiter just comes up, you have a phone. It's not that easy. This is her trying to just like make up. She's trying to format it in a way that's funny for like a stand-up routine. But she's not a stand-up comedian, so now she's just coming across as a liar. And him, the fucking bullshit caller right here, he can't help himself but to sit here and play an investigator and private detective. And he's gonna fucking start questioning her to bust her because he doesn't like liars. That's why he always wants to win the trivia contest because he's not gonna let you slide away. If he feels you're lying or full of shit, he's gonna ask you questions and make sure that he busts you and he gets you to admit to say, okay, fine, I made that up. And he's like, aha, like I'm not gonna let you trick me or fool me. Like, don't exaggerate and tell me things that aren't true for the purpose of your story being a little better or to make you sound better than you actually are. He's calling bullshit and he's testing her. Oh, and he's going to get in trouble after the show's done. He's going to be like, babe, when I'm telling that story, don't try to sit there and like bust me on TV and ask me all these questions. I understand, you know what I mean? So they're going to end up having a fight and then they're going to have makeup sex. But good for him. I'd be questioning her too. I don't give a damn for my wife. Don't just start making up shit.
Restaurant 5 minutes after you got there.
She's leading people to believe that she was like this cool fucking girl when she was like in her teens and early 20s. No, she wasn't. She was a nerd. She was a nerd. She wasn't like a nerd, but she was like a freaky geek. She was a dork. She wasn't a nerd. She was a dork. She had a group of dorky friends, but she wasn't like super popular, but she was popular within her own group of dorks. She was queen of the dorks, but she was on the bottom of the totem pole when it came to like cool people. And now she's trying to be like, oh, this is what we all did. You and your slutty.
Your table is
here's another thing. She's like saying, oh no, a fire. But here's the thing. You're at the hostess desk. You're at the restaurant. You're at the front stand. Your date is not with you. Are you telling me that you're going to the phone by the hostess desk to talk on the phone? And your date is going to stand up and leave his seat and leave the table and walk with you and listen to you? I'm sorry, Miss Kelly. Miss Ripa, you have a phone call at the front desk? Oh, okay. Let me get up and go take that call. Excuse me. And then Mark's going to be like, oh, you have a call here. He's going to get up and take his napkin off. He's going to follow you. Oh, I'll go with you. I'm going to go with you and I'm going to eavesdrop on your call. And then you're like, oh no, a fire. You wouldn't even have to do that. She'd go to the front desk. He'd stay at the table. And then you would just sit there and talk to your friend Linda or whatever. And Linda would be like, how's everything going? You're going to leave? You're like, yeah, I'm going to leave. I'm going to go tell him there's a fire or something. And she'd be like, no, don't tell him a fire. That's too crazy. Tell him like your aunt fell down the stairs and like hurt her foot and she needs someone to pick her up or something. A fire is going to be crazy because then he's going to look in the news. It's not going to be in the newspaper. He's going to go to the house. He's going to ask, what's the address? You don't want to take the chance that he'll ask for the address and then say, oh, I want to go help, or let me call my uncle. He's a firefighter. Or he's going to want to go the next day and help rebuild. Like you're going to dig yourself a big hole with that one. Just tell her that your friend's aunt, tell her my aunt fell down the stairs and I can't help her. She lives alone and I can't help her. And so I'm calling you, she paged me and I'm like, I'm in New York. So I'm calling you to say if you could go there and take her. She twisted her ankle and she's got to go to the hospital. So you're going to take her. Tell her that. And then I'll vouch for you. But you can't do the house fire thing because there's going to be too much proof that's going to be necessary to corroborate your bullshit story. So there's no reason for her to be like, oh my God, a fire, unless she's sitting at the table across from him. But at this point, what you're talking about, the waiter's not going to come with a cell phone and be like, Kelly, here's a cell phone. Unless the restaurant had a cordless phone. Are you telling me the restaurant's going to bring a cordless phone to your table and say, here you go, Miss Kelly. Are you Kelly Ripa? I brought you a cordless phone. Someone's on the phone for you. And then you're going to have to sit there and talk on the cordless phone in front of your date? Highly unlikely. 1% chance. You're going to get up and you're going to go to the landline in the front and he's not going to be there. And if he does get up and follow you, fine. Then that's weird. Then your imagination is crazy because that's not a good, that script would not sell in Hollywood. But they'd buy it from you because you've been on Disney and you have a built-in platform with all these followers that'll watch your shitty projects. Even if they don't like it, they're going to watch it because they're obsessed with you, because they're drinking your Kool-Aid and they're brainwashed to like everything you do. Oh my gosh, you went to the grocery store on Tuesday and bought a pound of celery. I have to look at that on my phone. I want to see what Kelly Ripa's doing at 9:45 in the morning on Saturday. Look, she's walking in the park. I gotta watch her watch birds. So this is exaggerating again. Oh no, a fire? No, you would never do that.
Either fake an emergency. Oh no, that's terrible. A
So
fire.
a waiter comes to your table and says,
there's a phone call for you, and you would answer. You would go to the phone,
Wow.
and you would either there would be an emergency, or a couple of times I'm like, he's not here yet, so just so you know, you're gonna have to call back in 10 minutes, and I will be leaving immediately because the lateness thing for me was like,
oh, right, if you were late.
oh, it drove.
If you were late, you mean if he was late? You just got through saying that you would tell your friend, oh, call back, he's not here yet. That means that he's late and you're on time, or you're both late. But if you're there at the restaurant and he's not, how is he going to know you're late? If the reservation's at 7 and she calls at 7:05 and you answer the phone and he's not there, how is she going to know that if you got there at 7 o'clock or if you got there like at 7:04? The bottom line is, if he gets there at 7:15 and you got there at 7:05, you're both late, but he's never going to know you're late. You could lie to him and say, I got here at 6:50. So why would you tell your friend? I understand why you tell your friend, but for this story, this lie, this blatant lie you're telling us, why would you tell your friend that? Why would you tell us that you being late is a problem when in this hypothetical scenario, you're at the restaurant first and he's late? You just said that the lateness for you is a problem, but in this hypothetical, your date's late. And why are you meeting them at the restaurant? I'm pretty sure. Are you sure a nice Italian girl like you doesn't want to be picked up? So you're telling me every single date you went on with a guy, you always met at the restaurant, and you would tell your friend, "I'm going to get there at 7. Call me at 7:05." You're telling me there's no time at all that you had a guy pick you up and you guys went to the restaurant together. Nope, 100% of the time we meet at the restaurant. This story has holes all over it. She's a bad liar. You could tell why she's not involved in organized crime or with the mafia is because she is an imbecile that would be ready. She'd be telling the cop, a cop would be like, what are you doing standing here, ma'am? Oh, I'm on the lookout for police. So while my friends are robbing that liquor store across the street. Whoops. I'm trying to make meatballs. Hey. Or I'm looking for my dog. I didn't say that. I'm just joking. Give me a break. She's like Screech in Saved by the Bell. Just terrible. Terrible, terrible.
The phone, and you would there would be an emergency, or a couple of times I'm like, he's not here yet, so just so you know, you're gonna have to call back in 10 minutes, and I will be leaving immediately because the lateness thing for me was like,
oh, right, if you were late.
Oh, it drove me crazy. To the point where I was like,
especially on a first date.
Oh, please. But you
see, she's saying the whole lateness thing for me drove me crazy. She's talking about when the guy's late, but he just asked her, oh, when you're late. And she didn't correct me and say, no, when he was late. If I'm at a restaurant and the guy was late, it would drive me crazy. That's a big turnoff when the guy was late. So what he meant to say was, oh, you meant when he's late? Or he said when you're late, and he misunderstood, which makes more sense because there's really nothing going on up there in that empty barrel. So he meant to say, oh, you mean when you're late? And she didn't correct him and say, no, when he's late. She should have said, no, when he's late. I'm already at the restaurant. How am I late? Even if I was late, he's going to be even later. So I'm going to lie to him and tell him I was early. So he said, oh, when you're late? And she goes, yeah, it drives me crazy when I'm late. So because I'm late, I'm going to dump the guy. Oh, hey, Mateo, thanks for coming. Well, I was 7 minutes late and that drove me crazy. So unfortunately, I'm going to leave and this date's over. Come on, guys. Really? Is this what we're doing here? This is what ABC wants for the next 10 years. For the next 10 years, this is what ABC wants. This is how they want to represent themselves. You're going to represent the Disney brand for the next 10 years. These two people, seriously? Come on, man. This is like Homer Simpson and Homer Simpson's female twin if she had one. I'm trying to think. Who are I don't know. I can't even think of any fictional characters from television that are this uneducated is polite. And this is all stand-up comedy and this is all entertainment. And this is my First Amendment rights, just stating my opinion. Just to let you guys know, YouTube police.
Leaving immediately because the lateness thing for me was
When you were late.
Oh, right. If you were late.
If you were
Oh,
late.
it drove me crazy.
It drove
to
you
the point
crazy.
where I was like,
It drove you crazy when you were late. Well, then don't be late. Look like a big ass sunflower.
Lateness thing for me was like,
Oh, right. If you were late.
oh, it drove me crazy. I mean, to the point where I was like,
Especially on a first date.
oh, please. And so, but usually it's, you just have to wait for that phone call because 30 seconds in, this guy is creepy.
30 seconds, it takes you 30 seconds.
It took me 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
But I had to wait for the 5-minute mark of the phone call for the, oh no, you're not going to believe this. My toilet overflowed and now my neighbor's apartment is flooded.
Well, according to this, it takes less than 20 minutes, so you're good, for the average American to know if they want a second date, according to new research.
But if you ask women, it would be cut down to 2 minutes.
When it comes to the date itself, physical appearance is important to about 44% of the respondents, but a greater value is placed on manners, 51%, and 40% on conversational skills. For guys,
what is it? Give us the percentages.
Tits, ass, and vagina.
A lot can be forgiven.
Overlooked.
A lot can be overlooked.
Like what? Like what?
Whatever. I'm not gonna get into it, but
Stupidity.
Yeah, we're shallow.
Lack of common
So you
sense.
see someone like, oh my gosh, wow,
Ugliness.
and they, you sit down.
Bad breath.
And slowly, you find out if there's anything there. And you're
Their
like,
height, their weight, face tattoos, bad makeup, terrible fashion sense, lack of political knowledge, religious views, drug habits, drinking habits, alcoholism, crack addiction, heroin. Do you walk with a cane? Manners, belching, farting, being rude to the waiter. All of that's forgiven. All we care about on a first date is, are you going to bend over my kitchen island? If the answer is yes, you could take a bump off the poached shrimp cocktail and rob the restaurant before we leave, as long as you leave the waiter a tip. Those are only two things I care about on a first date. Tip the waiter and wait on my tip. And by tip, I mean my dick. And number 3 is make sure you leave in the morning.
physical appearance is important to about 44% of the respondents, but a greater value is placed on manners, 51%, and 40% on conversational skills. For guys,
what is it? Give us the percentages.
For guys, a lot can be forgiven.
Overlooked.
A lot can be overlooked.
Like what? Like what?
Whatever. I'm not gonna get into it, but we're shallow. So you see someone like, oh my gosh, wow, and they, you sit down and then slowly, you find out if there's anything there, and you're like, all right, I can live with that.
What if she's rude? What if she's rude to the waiter?
Oh no, that's
a no-no.
That's a no-no.
Well, how hot is she? How hot is she?
It's an immediate no.
Yeah, I would say.
But if she,
well, how hot is she? I mean, is she like 1980s like Heather Locklear hot?
What if she's rude? What if she's rude to the waiter?
Oh no, that's
a no-no.
That's a no-no.
Right.
Yeah, that's an immediate no-no.
That's an immediate no.
Yeah, I would say.
But
what if she's got big tits?
If she looked cute though, would you give her a second date?
If she was cute and she was rude to the waiter?
Yeah.
Probably. How rude? Yeah, how rude? How rude? How rude?
What if she stabbed?
How cute? Not how rude. How cute?
Because that's
indicative
of how she's going to treat people and me.
Oh, and you.
Soon there.
Right, but you're not really looking for a girlfriend after the first date. Even if you realize, okay, she's not wife material, I don't want to date this girl, I don't want to introduce her to my parents, I don't want to date her, and I don't want her to be my girlfriend, but I'm not having a friend call and I'm not going to leave and say, oh, there's a fire. All I know is that, well, looks like I'm just going for sex tonight. You know what I mean? You can pull out your little list and you cross off wife, girlfriend, but then when it comes sex, you put a big circle around that one. You cross off wife, cross off girlfriend, and then put a big red pen circle around sex. You put a big circle around sex, right? And you'll do this in front of your date, like right in front of her. You just pull out a notepad from like your breast pocket. You pull out a pencil. You start crossing off shit, and then you put the pen, the mechanical pencil, back in your pocket, and then you go inside your breast pocket and you pull out a red Sharpie, and you draw a big circle around sex. And she'll ask you, like, what are you writing down? And he's just like, oh, I'm taking notes for a book I'm writing. And she's like, oh, you're an author? And you're like, yes, I am. I'm writing a novel, The Great American Love Story, and I'm centering it around you. And she's like, oh my God, really? Like, yes, you are my muse. Oh my God, that's so sweet. Where do you live? Right? Come on. I live on an island, a kitchen island, down the street. Would you like to take the food to go? Oh, I mean, I usually don't. Yes, they do. But sure. Let's go. Great. I'm gonna go hit the head. Will you do me a favor and pay the bill, call the cab, and I'll meet you out front. This is a big one, huh? Big topic. Big topics here. It's all we got here on the Fill in the Blank show.
That's indicative of how she's going to treat people and me
In bed.
Oh, and you.
soon thereafter.
Yes.
Soon thereafter.
I mean, do you even remember your last date? I mean, not with me. I mean, before me. Do you remember your last date?
Like a first date? I don't.
Yeah,
He does, but he's gonna lie.
I'm like drawing a blank.
No, I don't.
Lie. Bullshit.
I don't.
Bullshit. He remembers. He knows.
I can't.
He's not telling you. It was with one of the All My Children actresses or staff members. It was a quickie with one of the costume department girls in a closet.
You can't remember specifically.
I can't remember. I can't remember first date.
I feel like Camila Consuelos, your mom, needs to be here to counter this narrative because she remembers each and every one.
Yes, she does with detail. Things that contribute to the ending of a relationship.
Okay.
Clinginess. The octopus, right?
Oh gosh,
Yes.
you know.
Or the phone calls, the incessant phone calls, right?
Oh my God.
Gosh, they're the.
Says the woman who has to fucking sit 2 inches away from her husband 5 days a week, who has to be nonstop next to her husband for like 8 hours between waking up and going to work and coming back. Says the woman co-hosting a show who basically begged and demanded that her husband sit next to her all the time. Oh, the octopus, the clingy factor. Have you guys looked in the mirror recently? Jesus Christ. You guys take shits together.
The octopus, right?
Oh gosh.
In water fountains in Central Park.
Or the phone calls, the incessant phone calls, right?
Oh gosh, there are these guys that you can never locate them when you're in the relationship, and the second you dump them, you can't get rid of them. I'm like, what is happening here? You're like a wasp's nest.
Overuse of social media. We didn't have that. Right.
Yeah.
We barely, we didn't have cell phones.
No, we didn't have cell phones.
So overuse of social media, that's also would be concerning, I think.
They didn't used to have cell phones
Wow.
to go on dates.
Poor hygiene. Yeah, no, that'd be a deal breaker right away.
You had such good hygiene,
Did I?
and you were so. I loved your manners.
Mm.
I loved your manners.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I could have overlooked your looks because you were so mad.
Good thing you didn't have to.
Yeah.
Oh, with your white ass teeth.
Lack of or differing of sense of humor. That's a big one.
I just need a sense of humor.
I need a sense of humor.
Yeah, I mean, I can't.
Yeah, that's who you tied into intelligence as well.
But I know a lot of smart people with no sense of humor.
Correct.
And you just can't get over
They
it.
live in Silicon Valley.
You know who I'm talking about.
Being obsessed with their pet. Like how obsessed? What are we talking about?
Yeah,
there?
what are we
like
talking
showing
about?
a picture of their pet right on the first day.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Talking about their pet.
All they talk about.
Yeah, you
Depends on what kind of pet we're talking about.
You had cats, and I'm highly allergic to cats.
Stop saying I had cats. I had a cat, and I was fostering a second cat until it got its forever home. He likes to act like I was a cat lady. The cats
When I met you, you had more than one cat.
You had cats running all over the place.
Within your house.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was highly allergic to cats, but I overlooked that.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I did that.
Thank you.
Poor manners is here. Not liking a specific food.
Oh, well, that's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, people are going to have differing food choices, no?
Yeah. And being too talkative.
Oh, yes, yes.
See, you got to be more specific with the food. The food specifically relates to like someone who is a vegan or a vegetarian when the other partner eats meat. It's not food like, oh, I like to eat cheeseburgers at barbecues, and they only stick with like hot dogs and sausages. Or whenever we go to Italian restaurants, they always get pasta and I always get fish. Or it's like we go to a steakhouse and she always gets fish at the steakhouse. I can't stand. No, this isn't different food choices or whatever they said. This is like lifestyles of food, which usually involve veganism, vegetarianism, and carnivores. Like that's like someone that doesn't eat meat, they can't go to a steakhouse, or they can't date someone that eats someone who had a mom. That's what that means. They got to explore. I could have gone better than this. They're ruining this whole segment.
Oh, well, that's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, people are going to have differing food choices, no?
Yeah. And being too
or eating greasy
Oh,
food.
yes,
You know what I mean? If your partner does like eats fast food all the time, like every meal is just like French fries and mashed potatoes and gravy and meat. Like if they're on a meat and potatoes diet where everything is mashed potato, baked potato, meat, and the only vegetables are like French fries and corn, or like cream corn, onion rings, French fries, those are their vegetables, onions and peppers. That could be a little annoying, you know. Or if like every time we go out to dinner, you take me to Pizza Hut, you know, or I want to order like, you know, I want to order takeout. I want to order from Luigi's or from like the Chinese place. And you're like, no, let's order ribs from Chili's, or let's go to KFC and get a bucket of chicken. It's like, it's always just something that's greasy, unhealthy, and loaded with
People are going to
preservatives.
have differing food choices, no?
Right.
Yeah.
It's not really different food choices as much as it is healthy choices, as far as health options, as far as, you know, long-term, you know, healthy eating and the moderation. That's what it really is. That's what they mean. Put in the comment section. Am I right?
Oh, yes, yes. I say nothing. I think you have to know.
Yeah.
Applause. Yes. Tell them to applaud.
I'm gonna let you in on a little window.
Oh,
This is from
another
a
Kelly
talkative
secret.
person
Oh my
who is
gosh.
a talk show host.
Please
Okay,
inform
so
us. I'm dying. Yes.
in
Teach the
real
world,
wild,
Kelly.
Back in the day
Oh,
when I was young,
Out there. Out in the streets.
out on the streets. The secret to a guy,
You mean when you were
if you're
fucking
interested
random
in
men
a guy,
and you were a
is
slut?
you ask him questions about
A
himself
promiscuous
and
slut?
you let him talk. As mind-numbing as that may be, that's sort of the rule.
Right.
Get him talking.
Okay. And if they talk too much about themselves?
No, it's not about talk too much. It's just you let them think that you're interested in them.
Well, that's funny.
You
'Cause
lure them into believing that there's going to be a world with equal
that's funny because that's the exact same trick that guys use on girls to get them into bed. Ask them a lot of questions and then just let them talk and nod your head and smile and be like, yeah, exactly. Get out of here. Oh, that's great. Oh, I love that. Yes. Oh, man, that's amazing. I'm so jealous. That's awesome. Good for you. I wish I could do that. That's cool.
You
Right.
lure them into believing
I
that
told you
there's
that
going to
bitch
be
crazy.
a world with equal conversation,
Right.
knowing that eventually you will fall silent and I will carry on most of the conversation.
That's true. That's true. I like, you have to be interested
Interested.
and you have to be interesting
Correct.
as well. Those are
Yes.
two things.
Yes, those are two big things.
Mhm.
When you tell a story, it has to have.
Oh, you were a great storyteller back in the day.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, wow, this woman is so interesting. You reminded me, like, I thought I was like transported into like a
One
French
woman
film.
show.
Because I was speaking with a French
French
accent.
accent.
Yeah.
You sat there, your legs crossed, and you had these great shoes. I started at the shoes. I went up, and you were just like this.
Her
And you were telling
dress.
a great story, and the way you did it with something with your lipstick, so you wouldn't put too much lipstick on your cigarette. You did something interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That sounds-
it's very seductive.
that's tracking.
I paid attention.
What's so funny is when we went to our couples counselor. I'm going back a couple of months ago. How long ago is it? I mean, probably like 4 months.
Oh, we
A couple months
We
ago,
haven't-
sweetie,
we
since
haven't
that's
been
what
in
you
so long,
said.
it's bad. It's
Whatever
like-
you say, a
it's
couple
like
months ago.
a few months ago, and
few.
she asked us like
See
what.
how she said a couple months ago, which implies 2 months ago, and then it changed to a few months ago, which now is 3 months ago. She just makes shit up on the fly.
I mean,
You
probably
believe
like
she gets paid all the money she does to just make up shit that isn't even true. She just sits down and just like has a whole bunch of people do research, and she looks at a piece of paper, reads what the paper says, gives her opinion, makes up some shit about the past that no one can tell if she's telling the truth or not, and no one can prove. And then she just like brings on a guest, asks them a bunch of questions that other people wrote for her, and then she goes home. Give me a break.
4 months.
Oh, we do?
we
Sorry.
haven't been in so long. It's bad.
We
It's
probably
bad.
do.
But it's like a few months ago, and she asked us like, how did you two meet? What drew you together? Like all of that. And he tells her that basically the same story. And he's like, and she looked so chic, and she had the most incredible shoes on, and I can see Dr. Linda Carter like look at me like, are we talking about the same person? Because I was sitting there
Wearing
in
tennis
like
shoes.
sweatpants
And tennis shoes.
and she was like, huh.
But you
Interesting.
were wooing me back then.
I
Yeah, you
wasn't
were-
even wooing
you were, yes.
No, I just didn't.
Now you don't care.
No. It's not that I don't care. It's that I think the pandemic led me to realize that comfortable dressing is the only way to live.
That's true.
And that, being uncomfortable is ridiculous.
No, I was joking. You definitely always care. You always look really nice. Unless we're going to see our marriage counselor, then we'll wear it.
Wear sweats. So listen to this.
Yep.
I think of you and I think of your family all the time because, I may or may not have started a rumor that you and your entire family are in the CIA. And maybe you are, maybe you're not. I don't know. You'll never tell me the truth.
They feel you. Yeah.
Huh? You'll never tell me the truth. But they're like, Kelly, we're not in the CIA. And I go, okay.
Oh,
See that? That means it's true.
good job.
But fewer people want to be spies
Oh.
because they cannot work from home. We are a very work from home centric society now. I think this is what retired your parents from their CIA activity, is because they are now more home dwellers.
Yeah.
Where they used to be out.
So that's actually the reason why people don't want to be spies.
They don't want to work from home, and they can't use their cell phones. They have to use their burner phones, and so they can't. Yeah, so not being able to work from home and not being able to use your cell phone at work is asking a lot of the youth job-seeking market.
I mean, it sounds like a fascinating job.
When do you think you'll get out of it?
Right now, I'm really undercover. Super undercover.
Are you?
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm not wrong. I'm never wrong. Where did you hear that I'm never wrong?
From
You've
you.
heard it here, from me.
From you,
Right.
yeah. From you.
Okay,
I'm not a
but
spy.
have I been wrong yet?
Uh,
Gentlemen, What's my percentages of wrongness?
Kelly, you're so right that it's wrong.
Wow.
It's the small victories. That's practically a concession.
That's practically a concession. Yeah, we have a huge show today.
Okay, but we'll talk more about the CIA later. Erick McCormack is here.
I saw him backstage.
Yeah.
exactly. And we're gonna get you ready for the 4th of July with these party ideas from TikTok star Shannon Doherty.
And it's time for Lives Brighten Your Day trivia. That's our in-house trivia dancer, Florence Coleman from Dallas, Texas.
All right.
Florence, I love your dress.
Thank you.
It's amazing. You look great.
You look lovely. Let's say hello to Phyllis Bellows from Concord, Virginia, who watches us on WSET. Hey there, Phyllis. How are you?
Good morning, Kelly and Mark.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, we're gonna play a little game. You know about this game?
Yes.
All right, here we go. You've given us 2 statements. One is true, one is false.
I want to dance. Oh, this girl, come on. I gotta dance like her. No.
Trivia dancer, Florence.
Yeah, hold on. I'll do the trivia dance for you. Yeah, that's it.
Our Shannon Doherty.
From 90210.
And it's time for Lives Brighten Your Day trivia.
Yeah. Stella got a groove back.
That's our in-house trivia dancer, Florence Coleman from Dallas, Texas.
Lauren's got a groove back, man.
All right.
Florence, I love your dress.
Thank you.
It's amazing. You look great.
You look lovely. Let's say hello to Phyllis Bellows from Concord, Virginia, who watches us on WSET. Hey there, Phyllis. How are you?
Good morning, Kelly and Mark.
Good morning.
All right, we're gonna play a little game. You know about this game?
Yes.
All right, here we go. You've given us 2 statements. One is true, one is false. We have 60 seconds to decide which is the truth. If you stump us, you will win this.
Just gorgeous. That mug is gorgeous.
Yes.
I want it.
I
All
want
right.
you to win it.
Good luck. All right, here are your 2 statements. I have lived in more than 20 locations in my lifetime, or I've been married 6 times.
Whoa, 6 times. Look at her age. She looked like the type that a man can't handle, and that's the dump, or she cheats on her husband. My first impression guess, and you could put in the comments section. My first impression guess is that would she be willing to admit she's been married 6 times on national television? She looks like, based on her picture, and I know I'm profiling, that she doesn't care, but lived in over 20 locations. You know what? I'm going to say that she's not going to say she's been married 6 times. I bet she's been married 4 times, and she exaggerated, but she would never admit that. She's exaggerating. She's had more than 2 marriages, at least, probably 4. I'm going to say that the truth is that I'm going to say it's true that you've lived in over 20 locations in your lifetime. She's like 60 years old. I bet she moved around a lot of apartments, probably lived in 1 or 2 places with each husband. Probably was single. When she was single, she lived with roommates and then got her own place and then got another place and then moved out of that place into her second boyfriend's. and then dumped her boyfriend, moved in with the other boyfriend she was cheating on her second boyfriend with. She moved into her third boyfriend's house, and then they broke up. She got another place, then met her other boyfriend, moved in with them. They got married. They bought a house. Then he moved to a second house, got divorced. I'm going to say this is the true statement right here. What do you think? What do you think, my good friend, my mystery weirdo that for some reason likes to watch me? Mr. Thumbs Up.
All right, here are your two statements. I have lived in more than 20 locations in my lifetime, or I've been married 6 times. All right,
Got
what
a
are
big
your...
smile on her face.
Are
So
you-
maybe it's the 6th time.
Are you currently married?
Yes.
Yes.
And what's his name?
Ron.
Ron.
What are the other 5 exes?
Steve.
Roger.
Joseph.
Cliff, Paul, and Richard,
Mark.
and Stephen.
Steve, I got 2 right. I got Steve and Ron right. I'm just
Standard
randomly
names.
guessing.
So when you've lived in more than
'Cause
20
it's a lie.
locations, was it for work or for the divorce purposes?
Neither. I was young.
Actually, both.
Different states, or just different cities or different homes?
Different homes?
Let's say different states. Yeah, it's been, I think, 5.
Okay,
I think
5 states.
five's not a
Right.
big number to be unsure about.
Are you two also not in the CIA?
I can't tell you. I can't tell you that.
Well, no, we're not.
I'm never wrong, Phyllis.
You want to have a crack at this one?
No.
Okay.
You're wrong all the time because
I
you
like
lose
when
on
you
purpose.
lose the mug.
Yeah. I think the truth is
He's going to
that
say
you've
this.
lived
Yep.
in more than 20 locations
Yep.
in your lifetime.
That's true.
I have.
Yes.
Oh.
No woman's going to admit she's been rejected that many times on national television.
I'm getting booed. Can I tell you what it was? Phyllis?
But
You gave the names of just like these standard, like really, standard names.
Did you ever date those guys? John, Paul, Ringo, and
Steven?
no.
Ask her if she's been married more than once.
All right.
I was really excited for your 6 marriages. I was like, now there's a girl that knows how to party.
Right now, I'd ask her, how many times have you been married? Have you been married more than once?
All right, you didn't win the mug, but you still have a chance to win a great prize. Art, spin that wheel. Okay, you're playing for a trip for 2 to the Los Establos Boutique Inn in Panama. 8 days, 7 nights in a
No one
premium
wants to be
suite. It
viewed as
includes 3 meals
unhittable and
daily, 1
undesirable
excursion per
in
day.
front of
It's a prize valued at $7,300. You have
people.
20 seconds and only 1 guess, Phyllis. Good luck.
Here we go,
July
Phyllis.
weekend.
We've had Josh Groban on the show.
Yes.
In what state did Josh say he went to summer camp?
Connecticut.
Pennsylvania.
Oh, no, it was
No,
Michigan.
Michigan.
Interlochen.
Camp Interlochen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
sorry, Phyllis, but you're still going to receive a $500 appliance package from Cuisinart, and now you'll
Camp Interlaken. Yes, welcome to Camp Interlaken. It sounds like a German concentration camp. Jesus Christ.
be entered into our grand prize drawing for $500.
You either sing or you die.
Better luck next time,
And then he
Phyllis.
said, "You lift me up so I can climb on mountains."
Still ahead on Live. We'll get ready for the 4th of July with TikTok stars Shay and Doherty. We'll open up the inbox to hear your comments and questions. And coming up next, Erick McCormack.
If you're taking
You lift me up so I can climb on mountains. You lift me up so I can escape death. I am strong
Now that you
when
know the
I
truth.
am on your shoulders. You lift me up so I can eat again. You lift me up so I can breathe again. Auto accident injuries. I got to write that number down. You better lift me up so I can breathe again. All that gas is suffocating me. And now he's a Broadway star.
He became a household name 25 years ago when Will and Grace debuted. Please welcome Emmy Award-winning actor Erick McCormack.
Oh, nice dancing. Let's see if he talks about how he went to high school with Elton John's husband.
Yeah, I love that jacket.
Yeah, you have the same jacket.
Very
I just
comfy.
hugged you and I felt like I was hugging
Did you?
Yes.
Out of Vancouver,
Yes,
this
it's
jacket.
very nice.
I was just in my dressing room, the same dressing room I had 25 years ago when I first
Right.
came on this show,
Yes,
and
right.
I was so nervous, and there was a knock on the door, and it was Regis, and he said, "You're gonna be great, kid. You're gonna kill it."
And how did you feel encouraged by that?
Yes, I got Regis.
Yeah, he was
the seal
right.
of approval.
He was right. As it turns out,
As
you
it
were
turns
great.
out, thank you.
Can you believe it's been 25 years?
No.
I can't believe it.
No, and we've been celebrating it this last month here in New York at the Paley Center.
Yeah.
Who honored us. We did a panel a few weeks ago, and there's still another week for anyone that wants to go and see this Will and Grace exhibit at the Paley Center. It's pretty special.
Do you want to, like, I don't know, would you want to show up and surprise fans, just like walk through the exhibit with them?
I have many times in the last.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's the same.
How does that go?
Oh, it's the same every time. Like I'll just sort of step out from behind a bookcase or something, and every time they're like, "Oh my God, is Sean Hayes here?"
People are never satisfied.
Never satisfied.
Now, you and Sean have a podcast. It's a rewatch.
We do. So I mean, not only that, Sean is also, as you may know, winning all the awards you can win for his play here in New York,
Right.
Goodnight Oscar.
Yep.
And the play I'm about to do that we'll talk about, but we're on the same street. We're both on 44th. We'll be running
so
all
cool.
summer and fall together on the same street.
I did not know he could play the piano.
Oh my
I did
God.
not know he was such an accomplished
Unbelievable.
pianist.
He plays Rhapsody in Blue in this play, and he did that for me at my house 20 years ago.
Wow.
I mean, he's always had this thing. But so he and I went to lunch just 5, 6, 7 months ago, and we were talking about the show, and oh my God, it's 25 years coming up. And I mentioned one episode. He said, "I don't remember. I never really watched it."
He never watched them.
I said, "What? Never." So for me, it's a rewatch podcast that we're doing. For him, it's a watch podcast.
Is he like?
Is he enjoying it?
He's finally caught on that the show is brilliant.
He's finally understanding why it was called Will and Grace. He said, "You guys were really good." Thank you. But I think it's like home movies for him that you never saw, right? When you discover like a trove
Right.
in the attic.
Yeah.
And it is amazing, particularly some of the outtakes that we find that,
Oh, my
that
gosh.
didn't necessarily get published on YouTube. But
It's so funny because it's one of those shows that no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, if you're on an airplane, it's like if it's offering Will and Grace, yes, please. It's like immediately.
yeah, and unlike Sean, I often do. So I'm on an airplane and someone's like, "You're really watching yourself on this?" Like, well, it's a long flight. I miss me.
It's
You got a milestone birthday this year.
Oh,
Come on. You look great.
hey, very
you do.
kind.
You're great.
You know,
It's like I said, I think it's something about laughter and bringing joy or whatever because you're frozen in time.
yeah, well, thank you. I mean, somebody said to me, Eric, it's just a number. I said, I know. The number is 60. It's a big number.
You don't look a day past 51.
It's a psychological number.
Yeah.
It's a psychological
143 is also a number.
Right, exactly.
But it's very old.
Did you have a big blowout, big celebration?
Not so much, but we have a place in Vancouver that we didn't get to much during COVID. So we did some tables dinner for 16 up there, and it was my closest friend.
We love Vancouver. So
Yeah.
it's like a dream.
Love.
It's the dream. Is
Yeah.
that where you spend the most of your time?
Not the. I'm from Toronto. I moved to Vancouver about. And I was just there a few weeks ago, but moved to Vancouver when I was about 28 just to sort of try it out, and sort of never went back. Love, and then down to LA. So I think probably because my son went to school in LA, we were there more than Vancouver.
Yeah. And did he just turn 21?
2 days ago, he turned 21.
Oh
and which is great because it's that is Canada Day. That's July 1st.
Exactly.
So
we were in Vancouver for Canada Day.
were you?
Oh,
We had an apartment right on the water. You know where the planes land?
Yeah.
There's no planes. And we saw.
What year was that?
6 years ago.
Okay.
6 years ago, 7 years ago. And we had the fireworks.
Yeah.
The
huge fireworks,
the parade.
a cannon shot off.
You know,
it was amazing.
like New York, Vancouver's very much around water and bridges and stuff. Fireworks are incredible. But I wish I'd known because we were probably having a birthday party for him.
I know.
We had you over.
We could have blended our parties.
You are the self-described karaoke king.
First of all, be careful how you self-describe yourself on Instagram, because it'll come up on a talk show. I warn you, it will.
Just so you know that we are proud. What would you call us? Karaoke judges, or we're very judgy about others' karaoke. We don't have the bravery to do it, but we sit in silent judgment.
You?
No. What's your go-to? What's your go-to?
So here's the thing. The reason I call myself a king is because I get judgy about anyone that has a go-to. If you have a go-to, that means that's the song you do every time.
Right.
And I think the thing with karaoke is to challenge yourself and never repeat yourself.
Right.
So yes, I mean, we don't go to karaoke bars as much as do it at home.
Right.
I want to get this sponsorship deal here. A Carafun. Carafun is the greatest app you could ever have on your phone.
Carafun?
Carafun. And you can karaoke at home. They have every song you've ever heard of virtually. And so there's no reason to have a go-to.
So make sure you download Carafun by Erick McCormack on your smartphones. Everywhere apps are available.
I do hope the good people from Carafun are watching.
Here's the thing: when you're doing karaoke at home, you should never, especially when you're just doing it by yourself or for like your immediate family, there's no reason to do the same song over and over, right? You should definitely do new songs and try new songs and do a whole bunch of stuff. But when you go out in public and you're performing on a stage or in front of hundreds or maybe even thousands of drunk people, or sometimes only 6 people, as long as they're strangers, you have to do your go-tos because they don't know that that's your go-to. They're not going to say, oh, God, this song again? You sang that last month at that bar I wasn't at. It's like wearing the same nice outfit on a first date when you're with different girls. Wear the same outfit. Don't say, oh, I wore that nice suit to my first date with Lisa last month. No, don't. Andrea doesn't know you wore that. You could wear the same suit all the time and go to the exact same restaurant. If it's a different girl, they don't know. Yes, do Bohemian Rhapsody again. I get it, your wife's going to roll her eyes, but all the 9 other drunk teenagers with fake IDs are not going to give a damn. They're not going to say, oh, God, he doesn't really have a lot of range, does he? He does this all. They don't know. So always do your greatest hits and your classics in front of strangers. The only time you should do a new song in front of 6 people is if they're your children or your grandparents, okay? So I just need to comment on that. When you're at home, don't ever do your go-tos. You save those for strangers to impress. Like a joke at a party.
Everywhere apps are available.
I do hope the good people
You
from
have the
Carafun
exact same joke. The same 3 go-to jokes you tell girls on dates, strangers at bars, and coworkers at parties. If no, your husband, your wife will hear the same joke 50,000 times throughout a marriage. But you know that's going to get you a friend, that's going to get you business deal done, and it's going to get you laid. Say the same 3 jokes over and over. They don't know that you tell that joke over and over. It's the second date you're on, or the second meeting where you got to have some good material. But the first one, boom. Don't ever stick with the same shit. Why break it if it ain't broken, right? Or don't fix it if it ain't fixed. Whatever. You know what I'm saying.
Everywhere apps are available.
I do hope the good people from Carafun are watching the show.
Well, everyone knows that the CEO of Carafun is the biggest fan of the show.
Hey, we're going to take a break. But when we come back, we'll talk about Erick returning to Broadway. Stick around.
Still ahead on Live. TikTok star Shannon Doherty gets you ready for the 4th of July.
If your dog suffers from fear of thunder, fireworks.
Oh yeah. So how about those fireworks, man? Huh? What do you like? You like thunder bombs? You like sparklers? Huh? Hot dogs or hamburgers? Vote in the poll right now. Huh? Potato chips, French fries, or tater tots? What do you like? What's your favorite unhealthy salty potato snack? Follow my hashtag and respond. Cancer Center. If you got cancer, go to the Cancer Center.
Call now.
He's making his return to Broadway in the Cottage later this week. Shouldn't you be home resting or brushing up on your lines?
I'm 60. Yes, we've been working diligently all month, and we start previews Friday.
It's a comedy?
It is an outrageous comedy that you almost come to. It is so much fun.
Yeah.
It's basically it is three couples in the English countryside, 1923, very tea and crumpets, very scotch and soda, and hilarity and adultery ensue.
That's an incredible British accent.
Thank you. We're all English.
Are you the prime adulterer, or is it? I'm
the best at it in the play. Everyone's taking a good old-fashioned swing.
You're the head boy.
It's really fun. It's very much kind of a spin on Noel Coward, but outrageous.
Yeah.
If Noel Coward was in a crazy sex part.
And directed by Jason. Jason Alexander.
Jason Alexander.
His debut.
His debut as a director on Broadway. He directed me in The Fantastics about 11, 12 years ago.
Is that how you decided to collaborate on this?
Yeah, we actually knew each other. Our kids went to school together in LA, but we've been talking for years about what's the next thing and could it be Broadway. It's one of those things where some days he's just my buddy Jason, and other days I'm like, oh my God, that's George from Seinfeld. I can never quite adjust to the fact that because he was one of my idols when I went started going from the theater to go television. Maybe it was '91, and there was Seinfeld, which I adored. So to be in theater with him.
When you're directed by him, is he a taskmaster or is he a benevolent director?
You know that thing Jason does when his eyes disappear and his smile, and he's like,
don't do that.
When that happens, I know that
it's wrong.
You are such a brilliant man that I've just watched you transform into Jason Alexander, which doesn't make any sense.
I know it doesn't.
It's a 6-week run. Does that mean your wife is going to 16 week run?
Yes, we are running through Halloween, and
amazing.
My wife will be out for opening night, and
just for opening night.
Well, since I'm coming and going, we have a dog, and we have have a life there. But I'm really excited about this. My son, going to school in Boston, I have no idea why, but I've always had a fantasy that one day, when he was older, I would be doing a new comedy on Broadway, very specific, and that he would come from wherever he was with a girlfriend that he loved to see the show, like on a matinee.
And
that's going to happen because he's in love with his girl.
Oh my God.
So I'm very excited about that.
You know, I've been seeing a lot of theater lately. And when someone tall sits in front of me, I know there's this new thing. They have these booster seats.
Yes.
Will your theater be supplying
Does the Hayes Theater have a booster seat?
Well, I wasn't sure that they did. I'd heard about this. I saw it on the show, and I'm sorry, Mark, that you had that experience. But I want you to know that you won't have that experience at the Hayes Theater when you come to see the Cottage.
Oh my God!
Yes.
Did you bring Mark a booster seat?
They know what's up. That bag was.
They
brought that bag out during commercial break. It absorbs farts very well too. So
there you go.
Go see the play, The Cottage, at the Hayes Theater, right here in New York City, starting this Friday. Next, 4th of July party idea. Stick around.
Tomorrow on Live, a performance by James Shear.
I thought that was Jared Leto. Oh, 4th of July tips. Hey. How much you want to bet they're going to make red, white, and blue ice cubes?
Follow through. There's just no compelling reason for us to look elsewhere. I don't know who else can perform.
Unless you go to
the way people are
overstock.com and
acting.
get a discount.
It may be the 3rd of July, but it's still what? Joe Ripper's birthday. And it's still time to put together an amazing party for the 4th of July. Here with some last minute tips and tricks is TikTok superstar Shannon Doherty. Shannon, welcome. Happy 4th. Yeah. You guys. Okay. Right here, you are speaking my language.
I made this one just for you.
These are all my food groups.
So if you're hosting a 4th of July party this year, I wanted to give you some fun ways to really spruce it up. More than
That's
just
not
your
Brenda
traditional
Walsh.
flag cake, which I always love to make. I also do some fun charcuterie boards. So I did a candy one for Kelly with some gummies. You guys can put them right on. I did red and white candy and then some blue little sharks. Always a hit. And you can also do that as a cheese and meat, some blueberries. I cut little star cheeses to put right on the top there.
Very cute.
Instant hit. Everyone will be snacking and eating off of it.
All right, what's next?
Now, this is one of my old, everyone is going to start for this. A hot dog flag board. So get your platter out, get your hot dogs, and I like to put the ketchup on them too. So I hope everyone likes ketchup.
I don't like ketchup on a hot dog.
So I'll leave one no ketchup for you. But just to really get the red, white, and blue
that's great.
look to it.
Is that a trifle?
A trifle. So this is my little trick for making a trifle. Angel food cake store-bought. So this took me 2 seconds to put together. Get some store-bought angel food cake, layer it with whipped like toppings, Cool Whip, strawberries, blueberries. I did a little star on the top, but it's adorable. Everyone will love it. It looks cute. Taste it. And you're done.
Love that.
Now these are the hit of my party for my kids. I used yogurt. So you can do strawberry, vanilla, and blueberry yogurt. Add a little bit of food coloring to make the colors. And you just get a little ring pop mold.
This is great.
These are healthy,
Is it
fun
really yogurt?
treats.
Yeah.
It's really yogurt. They look like little firecrackers. They taste great. My
They're
kids love them.
delicious.
Delicious.
That's close enough. For red, white, and blue ice cubes. She froze stuff.
Another
I called that
dessert
shit
for
at the
your
beginning of the
party that is
episode
so easy.
and
I
2
love
minutes
making
ago.
these little star watermelon
Make sure to
cubes.
smash that like button. Give me some stars,
You
yo.
can get these anywhere. They have them. But you just cut the watermelon with them. Put them
No,
right
but
on
what
the
does
skewer.
anywhere mean?
Amazon. Amazon
I'm
always.
always wandering around looking for anywhere.
But these are- Amazon is my go-to. If I say anywhere, it's Amazon. But you just put them right on the skewer, and they look adorable.
That's adorable.
Little mom hack for you, but
It's so
turn the watermelon
adorable.
with a popsicle stick. Easy to hold. Your hands won't get as sticky, and they're fun.
It's fun.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with the tips to keep our kids cool.
But they're still going to get sticky.
Are you ready?
If you love watching our show from home, now's your chance to see us live and in person. Come join the fun. Check out all the stars and be part of Live with Kelly and Mark's studio audience. Visit our website and get your tickets now.
Put a popsicle stick through your watermelon. Your hands won't get as sticky. That's like saying, here, stab them in the side of the hip. Your shirt won't get as bloody. You ever stab someone in the heart and your shirt gets all bloody and there's a mess all over your front porch? Like, you know, you stab them in the heart or you slice their throat and there's blood all over your front porch. Well, here's a little bit of like OJ advice for you. Here, stab them in the side of the hip. All right, your hands won't get as bloody, right? Their shirt won't get as bloody. Stab them in the leg. The pants won't get as bloody, right? Stick a popsicle in your watermelon. Your hands are still going to get sticky. You're going to still have to wash them. Does it matter if they're 90% sticky or 10% sticky? You still got to wash them 100%. So what good does a popsicle do except waste 45 seconds of your time to go get a damn popsicle from the store and get a popsicle stick and stick it in the watermelon? In fact, you're wasting a whole hour because you got to get in the car, drive to the store, go buy popsicle sticks. Like you tell me every random household just has popsicle sticks randomly in their house. Just here's a drawer. There's ketchup packets, the soy sauce. There's a random roll of duct tape, the emergency numbers, and for a night, for the in case your kid has SIDS or something. Oh, and popsicle sticks, right? Duct tape, soy sauce, ketchup, and popsicle sticks. You got to go to the store and buy popsicle sticks just to end up washing your hands anyway. Great advice, Brenda Walsh. I gotta spend money on gas.
The AK homeowner system starting at $199.99.
Do you realize I have to spend money on gas and for me to go to the grocery store? And all that time for me to go to the grocery store is time I could spend watching another episode of season 3 of Vanderpump Rules for some popsicle sticks that aren't even going to prevent me from washing my hands. I'm still going to waste soap and wash my damn hands.
Sale through Tuesday at Darvin Furniture and Mattress.
And I'm suing Darvin.
We are back with TikTok star Shannon Doherty. Shannon, there's so many fun things to look at here. What other party tricks do you have?
Yes, these are some fun things you can do at home. So easy, and your party will be the hit.
Okay.
So mason jars. Grab some mason jars and some glow sticks. I love this because towards the end of the party at night, they look adorable.
They do, and you can find your kids on the beach.
Find your kids on the beach. So mason jars, I got little flags. You put them right in. Throw in your glow sticks.
Your mise en place.
Tie them with a ribbon. And it just looks really festive, adorable, glows at night. I love these. Easy decor idea.
And nobody will get burned.
No one will get burned, exactly. Next, streamers. So we always have streamers at our parties. I came up with this idea with my kids just to grab a little star punch and just decorate your streamers. They'll look totally 4th of July and fun. I did these for you guys to see.
Wait, did you get this at that place called Anywhere?
I got it anywhere. How do you know?
Anywhere Prime.
Anywhere. No, but these are festive. I mean, so
really
easy and really cute.
I love this. This is so pretty. This looks like you're gonna put it on a bicycle for the parade.
Yes, I love that idea. I didn't even think of that. Your bicycle, your mantle, I love that. So get some string lights. Stars are fun.
Andrea.
Get some lights.
This is right up your alley.
And then grab some tulle. So easy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anyone wants to help, but you just start tying it around. Again, my kids are little, so this is a fun activity. Sometimes entertains them, and it looks really pretty when it's done. And again, 4th of July, it's a nighttime, you're outside, so it stays lit up and pretty for your party. You'll feel cool that you did it, but you just
how good yours is.
No, yours is good.
Ours looks like
Mine's very sad.
We got ours at that store anyway.
But it looks really pretty, and then you're done.
Great.
Done.
Okay. What's this?
Yes. Little way to festive up your drinks in your ice cube trays. I also got some star ones that are cute. Just put some strawberries and blueberries, freeze them with your water.
So easy.
And look how pretty it looks.
That's really great.
But what is this?
Just another ice cube tray.
Is an ice cube tray shaped like Twix?
Like long ones.
Everything has strawberries and blueberries.
It's not candy, although you probably could. Yeah, put it right in the tall glass. It's really amazing. And you're done. See, when you fill it up, they're so festive.
Come on.
Hostess with the mostess.
What is
over
this?
here.
So this is a fun way to make your cooler look festive and all your drinks. Water balloons. Grab your water balloons, fill them.
Yes.
About halfway and freeze them. They'll look really cute in your cooler with all your drinks. And then
But
at
wait
the
till
end
they
of
melt.
your
Wait till
party.
they melt to start doing them.
Yeah, don't
wait until the end of the party.
If you throw this at someone in its frozen form, it will.
You cannot do that.
Oh,
But
thanks for the
at end of
advice,
party, then you can throw it
Kelly.
at all the. But
That's
that'll get
great.
cold. But it looks really pretty.
Where
and
would
again,
we
so
be
jazzy.
without you giving us? Hey, should we put our shoes on before we go walk outside?
KellyandMark.com. Next, we're going to open up that inbox. Stick around.
What's your next piece of advice, Kelly?
Tomorrow online. Don't miss all the fun and lots of games of live.
If you're gonna go out to dinner, wear clothes. If you're gonna paint a house, make sure you use a paintbrush. Don't use silverware to paint your house. Thanks, Kelly. Earning every penny, Kelly.
Jones of the Dial of Destiny. Rated
sucks.
PG-13.
Hey, welcome back to the inbox.
We've got some doozies for you here. Okay. We're talking about first dates. Marcia Flood from Calamasa, California said, my really good friend set me up on a date my senior year in high school. They drove me to meet my date at his home. He answered the door in a big black cape and asked me if I wanted to see his dark room.
Yeah.
I was so upset. This was 1973, so no cell
It
phones.
was for
I called my
sex.
stepdad and begged him to come pick me up. I never went on another blind date.
Marcia. Jan Knight from Fredericksburg.
Yeah, but how is it going to be a blind date if you can see anything, right? He took it too literal. It has to be a blind. It has to go in. You have to be. Look, if it's going to be a blind date, you have to be in a dark room. You know. That way you're blind.
Cape and asked me
That's
if
a
I
Kelly
wanted to
Ripa
see
joke.
his dark room. I was so upset. This was 1973, so no cell phones. I called my stepdad and begged him to come pick me up. I never went on another blind date.
Marcia. Jan Knight from Fredericksburg, Virginia said, on our first date, we went to a carnival in a shopping center parking lot. We were on a ride that twirled and went upside down. Unfortunately, we had just been to the salad bar for dinner.
That's not Thousand Island.
He christened me and those on the ground with his dinner, and we've been married for almost 50 years. It wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault.
Like that ride, that email took us on twists and turns. Bernadette from Long Island said my
Must be
husband
an
Joe
ugly
fell
woman.
in love with Haley and Mateo as if they were his own children.
Aw,
We
that's
take
disgusting.
AMC every
It's
day
very
and watch it
creepy
after
weird.
dinner. He passed on earlier this year. Oh, I'm so sorry, Bernadette. But you were his favorite couple, and I know that he smiles up above at 9 a.m. every morning because you're back together on the screen again.
Oh, that's weird. Probably another unattractive old woman.
Yeah. Samantha Gowdy from Jackson, Mississippi said, I am so excited. The live audience and the trivia dancer is back. Tomorrow.
So much, he's doing a great job and is owning it with Kelly.
All right, Samantha.
Ass kissers.
Tweet from Christina Jensen.
Is that
My husband
Bernadette?
and I also work together, and we love it too. Dispelling the myth. Some couples can actually work together and crush it. Flame emoji.
I like
It's a
it.
flame emoji.
Right, thanks, Christina.
Yeah, thank you, Christina.
This is from
Yeah, mind you, they only work together 1 hour a day. Because even when they're in the same building before work and after work, they're in different dressing
Tweet from
rooms.
Christina Jensen. My husband and I
I
also
want to see them work together 40 hours a week. They spend 1 hour a day forced to be on each other, and they're getting paid finance. I want to see them spend 40 hours a week, both making 30 to 40 grand, and see how their relationship is after 5 years. Trust me, they're in the same building, but they're in different rooms. They spend plenty of time apart. That's a terrible comparison. Put in the comment section, all right? I'll make a poll. Hey, Bernadette.
tweet from Christina Jensen. My husband and I also work together, and we love it too.
Yeah, Christina
Dispelling
Jensen.
the myth.
Let me
Some
guess, you work at the
couples
opposite
can
end of the
actually work
Nabisco
together
factory.
and crush it. Flame emoji.
I like
It's
it.
a flame emoji.
Right, thanks, Christina.
Yeah, thank you,
I
Christina.
work in corporate. My husband works in the factory.
This is from Carol Henderson Simpson from Minter, Alabama. The chemistry between you two.
What is going on with these positive emails? We want some hate mail. So we
Hold on.
can get into
We're going to get
so we
there.
can get into it.
Kelly and Mark, the chemistry between you is infectious. You both vibe perfectly together. At first, I didn't like it when Mark kept beating people for the mug. But now I'm on his side. And crack up when he smiles and smirks with satisfaction in a self-congratulatory way.
Yeah, that's
I never miss a show. I was born and raised in Philly for 51 years and moved to Alabama 6 years ago. So
Wow.
thanks for making me feel at home and for giving me the laughter every morning. You are welcome. This is key.
she likes your self-congratulatory smirk. That's the part I find most galling.
Because you jump on
and
his
this is from
wiener.
Meg Killen. My nephew is a Kelly and Mark
Ooh, get
fan.
him young. Get him young.
Yeah, he's pointing to you though.
Yeah.
Because
We'll
he
be right
sees
back. Stick
milk.
around.
If you would like to know more about
That's because he's
anything you
hungry.
see online,
That baby was like the baby from Look Who's Talking, Baby Mikey. Lunch. That's what he's thinking. Lunch. He's not thinking, ooh, Kelly Ripa, the funny comedian. No.
Because they're so.
No, he's thinking lunch. If anything, he's thinking that's a man. How come the man can give me lunch, mommy? Oh, what are we doing here? What is this crap? Come on. I'll tell you. These dish companies. To the moon, Alice. To the moon.
Hey, Bill.
Yes, if we.
No. Yes. No.
Because the way we care is anything but ordinary.
Hey, one more inbox. Yeah, Kelly asked a little hate mail.
Yes, if you keep fluffing it up like this, then I'm going to be forced to read my Instagram comments. Okay.
All right. She says, "Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
I noticed that you have worn the yellow ruffled dress at least twice.
Like probably 4 times.
The dress has way too many ruffles for anyone except a bridesmaid.
Sounds like a.
Maybe I'm going to a wedding after.
Sounds like a. Yeah.
The dress would be much prettier if the under ruffle on the sleeve was removed. And maybe some more minor adjustments. I'd love to be your personal shopper and
stylist.
I would love to be a personal shopper for you and maybe your stylist. Best to you, Denise."
Denise.
Thank you.
Formerly Daniel.
Maybe Denise is right.
She's right.
Join us tomorrow when I read directly from my Instagram feed. Hey, tomorrow is also our 4th of July party with me.
And a performance by Jake Shears. Don't miss it.
Oh, Pluto. Go fetch. Get my hot dog. Oh, wasn't that too bad? Okay. Well, thanks for watching. That was season 1, episode 56. Season 1, episode 56 with your man Phil in the Blanc. Happy 4th of July, belated, and a premature one for next year. Join us for our special Thanksgiving episode where we go over why Mark's jewelry choices are absolutely wrong. Until next time, remember this word of advice. How can you thread the needle when the needle has been sewn into your spool? Till next time, I'm out. Thanks for watching. And make sure to shave with razors. Another word of wisdom from Kelly's book of advice. If you're going to shave, don't use a broom.